Hi everyone, I'm back to share some of the projects that I've made with my new die from Papertrey Ink. This is the In Stitches baby onesie, and you can see here you get the main body of the stitching die and a couple of decorative dies to go along with it. Now this is like to simulate the bottom of a onesie where you have the snaps. This is some decorative stitch only dies where you can add them to the sleeves to give more definition here. Usually you have something like this on a onesie, and then these are 3 little snaps you can put on to the bottom part. And then you've got some decorative dies over here. You've got the elephant, the cloud, and the duck dies as well. So that's the die set. If you purchase the dies, they're $26, but if you're interested in the whole kit, which comes with the felt and the embroidery floss, these colors right here, the fresh snow, the sweet blush, and the blueberry sky felt is in the kit. Also, you would get the embroidery floss. In this case, I replaced the blue floss with this smoky shadow matching floss, and that's because I wanted a contrast for the blue if you wanted to do a male onesie. And then I added the matching floss for the pink and then the white. And you'll see that I've used those in my projects. There's also going to be inside the kit, if you purchase the kit again, some little trinkets in there. There's a pacifier and safety pins, and you will get 8 of each of those in 2 different colors, a pink and a blue. And those are just little trinkets you can add to your little onesies. And there's actually 2 types of ribbon in the kit. The blueberry sky bitty dot ribbon and the sweet blush satin ribbon. And those again are in the kit. So all of that, including the die itself, is in the kit for $51. That's a great buy if you're considering just the die itself. It's $26. So anyway, you guys can decide whether you would like that or not. But here are my projects that I've made with the die. And so this first one is actually made from paper. So what I did for this one was I cut the die from paper and some of the Stamper Select white, and I cut the 2 decorative pieces for the sleeves and the little bottom part here for the onesie. I did go ahead and stitch it through the 1 layer, and then I added a backer piece for this. So this is just a backer piece that I cut by tracing the die and just glued it together. So all of my work is sandwiched in between, and you cannot see any of the stitching that I've done. And I've also tied some embroidery floss here between the 2 layers so that you can create a tag. And this was meant for like a baby shower if you're having to do a gift for the expected mother and father and baby. So this is something I created, and some of the stamps that I used, I'll try and make sure I bring those in. This Happy Baby Shower is from this Papertrey Ink set called Worth the Wait, and it's one of the sentiments in the set. I added some pearls in here, and also before I actually did any of the stitching, I did use my ink blending brushes with this Sweet Blush ink to ink around the edges. That's why it looks slightly pink instead of white. I kind of wanted to not do it with a solid colored cardstock in the Sweet Blush. I wanted to see, I wanted to have that sort of white on the internal part of the onesie. So that's that project. Then I had a project in mind that I wanted to do it as a gift card. So here again is the Sweet Blush felt, and I've actually used a die set here that was released some time back. It is an alpha set, and it's called Tiny Stitched Alpha, and that's what makes the word cutie here. So you've got this whole 26, well, you've got an alpha here, and what I do is to line them up, I turn them over and put tape on the back of all of them before I turn it back over to see if they're straight. And then I die cut it with that on there. So that makes sure that I have a straight line. And I used this tag here called Charming Tags 1 to create the little insert here. So you can see here the difference in the onesie, where you have the stitching lines, the decorative details, and where you don't. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. And then in this case, I put in French knots here at the bottom where you have this little, where you have normally the snaps for the onesie. I did so, or stitch the cloud onto the front of the onesie because I thought it was really cute. So this one is a pocket. So it is a gift card pocket, and I have gone ahead and stamped this Hello Sunshine onto this tag, and that's the Charming Tags. This stamp is from Playful Patterns. So it's the big sunshine here, and I used some, believe it was lemon tart ink is what I used on that. And it does have a gift card on the back. Now this gift card's already been used, so I'm not worried about you guys seeing the number or anything like that. But I keep them around so that, you know, you guys can see them. So the gift card does fit down in here. I added some Papertrey Ink satin ribbon here, as well as a button that is glued to this ribbon here, so that I could just add that little detail, and you can pull it out by that. So that is the onesie in Sweet Blush. All right, next I have a onesie that I made out of felt and paper. So this one is kind of a mix of these two together. On the front, I've used felt. This again is lemon tart. Yep, lemon tart. And then melonberry felt for the duck. And then again, I stitched around it. I didn't do a back stitch. I just kind of skipped the stitches for that. But then I also put in the, you know, the decorative details here for the sleeves. And this little Oh Baby set, it's coming from a Stamp and Die set called Cake Please. And normally you would have a little sign in like a cake as a topper. And there it is, Oh Baby. That's what's on that particular onesie. And I just die cut it from paper and stuck it down between the stitches. So since I didn't do a full stitch all the way around the duck, I got the little gaps, and I could stick the little thing in there. And again, I did this as a tag, but just to remind you, it is paper on the back. So again, I cut the onesie out of paper and sewed the felt to the paper so that you can you have a sturdier tag, but you also have the nice felt or the fabric feeling here for the onesie. So I thought that was cute. All right. The next thing I have is a card. So let me move these over. And so you could see that the onesie does fit on the front side of an A2 size card. And I put in one of these sliders. So it is a pocket. There's a gift card on the back. And I've used a couple of different things for this onesie. This is the Blueberry Sky felt, and I chose to stitch it with the white and embroidery floss, and it has the elephant on the front. And you can see I did the elephant in a couple of different colors. I used the white embroidery floss and some that matches the Blueberry Sky felt. And then I went ahead and stitched some water coming out of the trunk of the elephant and his little tail. Those aren't details, of course, included in the die set, but I thought, you know, it's simple enough to be able to make a little splash of water and a little tail here, so why not do it? And in this case, I added the little snaps onto the little piece here for the bottom, and did some French knots in that piece as well. This is actually 2 layers of felt. While I did sew these together. What I decided to do in the end was to actually put it to the front of the card. So underneath, you've got some seam binding for this bow here. And then you've got this little Blueberry Sky bitty big paper that has been die cut. And so let me share with you what I used to make the card as well. So the sentiment for Welcome Baby comes from this Baby Mine stamp set. You can see it also has elephants. And the actual gift card slider is this go-to gift card slider, and it has the two little pieces here that hold the gift card, so that you can put the gift card on the back and slide it down. You can't actually see the gift card when it's, you know, on the front of the card. And then the little hearts that are die cut into that front piece are cut by this Border Bling Tiny Hearts set. Now, this only will cut the hearts in this frame shape. To cut the frame, I have this other piece, and that is another die set, another die, Border Basics rectangle. So there's two dies here. You can see what they cut. This cuts the frame itself, and then this cuts the hearts into the frame after you've, you know, obviously die cut it. So that's how I did that. And this is an A2 size card, so you can see the onesie fits very well on the front. I can never put anything on straight. I don't know why. I choose never to, well, not to put it on straight. I always like it at an angle. That's just me in my preferences. So there's that card. The last thing I have to share is a little bit of a departure. And it was more me thinking about, like, what else can I do with this die? So I was thinking outside of the box here, and instead of a onesie, I made a t-shirt. So this is a birthday card that I put together, and you can see that the onesie is now a t-shirt. And it's not just simply taking the onesie and cutting it across the bottom, because that's not what I did. You can tell that it's actually a little bit longer. It's actually like the same length as the onesie itself, about the same length. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this, I do have a Facebook group for Papertrey Ink Stitching Club. If I will be posting a video in that group, if you're interested in joining. We do lots of live videos where I do stitching it's been on Sundays, because that just seems to be the best time for everyone. So to do this, I first cut it out of paper because I wanted to do this as a card. I cut it out of paper, the onesie, and I used partial die cutting to do this. But like I said, how I did this is going to be shown in a video in that group. And I stitched it with some coordinating floss for the Scarlet Jewel color after I inked the edges. So this is the ink for Scarlet Jewel, and I went ahead and inked the edges of the shirt. I didn't want to use the colored cardstock because I wanted to be able to show the sentiment here. And this particular sentiment comes from this Craft Brew stamp set. And so you can see it's like a sort of a beer related stamp set, more male oriented for mail cards. And then I also used this happy birthday initial sentiments birthday set to get the happy birthday that's at the bottom here. These two particular pattern papers, this one is a Smoky Shadow Bitty Big, and this is the Scarlet Jewel Bitty Big. So I added those two pieces as layers. And then you can see here there's a little tag. That tag is from the set called, it's an older stitching die set, and I love using it because it's a tiny little tag. What's the name of it? I don't think this is the correct one. So if you're interested in the name of that little stitching die, just leave a comment below and I'll try and find it. I'll have to look it up. Okay, so yeah, that's some of how I created the card. I did use another set for the little tassels that comes from that Worth the Wait stamp set. It has tassels in it, and I have the die as well. So that's where these tassels come from, and I went ahead and strung them on here with some silver, it's really, really skinny, silver floss that I have, and I went ahead and pierced each of the tassels with a needle and strung it that way so that it gives it some dimension, and I added some sequins here to this card. So This is going to a family member, but it's just me thinking outside the box when you think about how do I use my dies creatively. This is the onesie die creating a t-shirt that is stitched. So, and Papertrey doesn't have a t-shirt die that's for stitching unless I create it or somebody else does for her. So anyway, that's my last project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.